Hello, everyone. In the comments section of our last video, many of you asked for a detailed explanation on how to use symbolic links to transfer folders and save space. Today, we'll dive into this topic. It's a bit technical, so grab a coffee and get comfortable. Clarifying key concepts, alias, symbolic link. To understand this better, let's break down these terms in simple language. An alias is a built-in macOS feature, similar to a shortcut in Windows. It points to another file or folder, so when you double-click an alias, the system opens the target file. The advantage of aliases is that if you rename or move the original file, the alias can still locate it. It's like having a live location on your phone. You always know exactly where it is. However, aliases are mainly useful within Finder and might not be recognized by applications or command line tools. Symbolic link. So, what if we need applications to treat the link as if it were the actual file or folder? That's where symbolic links come into play. Symbolic links are traditional Unix links that point to the target file or folder and appear as if they're the original. However, there's a downside. Symbolic links don't automatically track the original file if it's moved or deleted. It's like having the last known location of a lost phone. If someone picks it up and moves it, you'll lose track of it. The link becomes broken if the original is moved or deleted. That's why they're also called soft links. Here, I've created both an alias and a symbolic link to the intro folder. If you compare the Get Info panels side by side, you'll see some subtle differences. The alias file is bigger and has the option Select New Original, so you can tell which is which. If I move the original folder, guess what? The alias still connects to the folder, while the symbolic link becomes broken. Symbolic links are also known as soft links. So, can an alias be called a hard link? Unfortunately, that term is already used. Unix links come in two flavors, the soft link and the hard link. A hard link is essentially a reference to the actual file in storage and is ideal for time machine backups. However, you cannot create a hard link to a folder. They only exist for files. Why use symbolic links? So, now let's get to our main question. How can we move a folder, like the Downloads folder, to an external drive, while still allowing macOS and applications to recognize it as if it were in the original location? Our three potential options are A. Alias, B. Symbolic link, soft link, C. Hard link. Based on what we've learned in the previous section, which option would you choose? Alias? No. An alias only provides easy access in Finder. It can't work as a placeholder for the actual folder within macOS. Hard link? Hard links can't span across partitions and can only link to files, not folders. Therefore, symbolic link is the only choice. In this scenario, we can create a symbolic link in the original location that points to the new location on the external drive. However, it's important to note that this technique only works for certain folders. In other words, not all folders on macOS can be moved to an external drive. To make this complex topic clearer, I've created a cheat sheet that categorizes folders into three types based on whether they can be moved. These folders can be moved to an external drive, with a symbolic link created in their original location. This way, macOS and applications will recognize the folders as if they're still in their original place, but the data is stored externally. Folders that can be moved but require changing the path in application settings. Virtual machine storage files, such as Parallels Desktop and VMware Fusion. Cloud storage folders like Dropbox and Google Drive. App-specific media libraries or project folders, such as Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro. For these, it's best to change the storage path in the application settings, rather than using symbolic links to avoid sync or data integrity issues. Folders that cannot be moved, iCloud Drive, Outlook database folder, Documents and Desktop, if iCloud Sync is enabled. System and application folders. These folders contain critical system data or depend on specific paths. Moving or modifying them may cause system instability or data loss. Detailed steps are available in the downloadable cheat sheet, I'll provide a QR code on screen in the end of the video so you can download the cheat sheet directly by scanning it. How to create a symbolic link. Now, let me demonstrate how to move a folder to an external drive using symbolic links with the Downloads folder as an example. Step 1. Open two Finder windows side by side. Left window, the original Downloads folder on the internal SSD. Right window, target location on the external drive. Step 2. Move the folder. Simply drag the folder you want to relocate, e.g., the Downloads folder, to the external drive. Be sure to delete the original folder afterward, as our goal today is to save space on internal storage. Step 3. Use Terminal to create the symbolic link. To open Terminal, press Command and Space to bring up Spotlight Search. Type Terminal and hit Enter. Then enter the following command: lns, new path on external drive, original path. Here, ln is the command to create links, and specifies that this is a symbolic, soft link. Next, we need to add two parameters. To avoid typing errors, I strongly recommend dragging the folder paths from the two Finder windows directly into Terminal. The final command should look something like this. Step 4. Handling permission errors. If this is your first time executing this command, you might encounter a permission denied error. Here's how to resolve it. Open System Settings. Go to Privacy and Security. Under Full Disk Access, enable access for Terminal. Retry the Terminal command. Step 5. Verify the symbolic link. After creating the symbolic link, you'll see a folder named Downloads in the original location. The alias-like icon indicates it's a symbolic link. Now I will use Safari to download a file. Safari saves it to the new location on the external drive, even though I haven't informed Safari about the new path. This indicates that the symbolic link successfully tricks applications like Safari into thinking the Downloads folder is still in its original system location. Alternatively, we could specify the new download folder in Safari and other downloading apps without creating a symbolic link. However, if you need to back up iPhones and iPads on macOS, using symbolic links to trick the iOS backup app is the only solution that allows you to save space on internal storage. Wrapping up, we've successfully created a symbolic link to relocate a folder from the internal SSD to an external drive, freeing up valuable internal disk space. Remember, while symbolic links are powerful, they aren't a one-size-fits-all solution. Feel free to use the cheat sheet to check if a folder can be safely moved and linked. Relocating folders is one way to save space. Some of you may also be concerned about duplicate files and photos on your MacBook, or about keeping files, like screenshots, organized on your device. These are all interesting topics I'd love to cover in future videos. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope to see you in the next episode.